Janavadabha Girivaradari Rava Javihari Jaya Radha Madhava
Shutavajja cha bhaktya samrjamane hridaye avadhaya jnanena vairagya balena tiraha Vajima Tate Angri Sarojapitam Yachradaya Shrutavatya Chabhaktya Samrijamani Hridaye Vadhayam Yani Vairagya Balena Tika Vajima Tate Sarojapitam Yachalaya Shrutavadya Chabhaktya Samrijamane Hridaye Vadhaya Jnanena Vairagya Bulena Dhira Vajima Tattengri Sarojapitam Yachalaya Shrutavadya Chabhaktya Samrijamane Hridaye Vadhaya Jnanena Vairagya Balena Dhira Vajima Tattengri Sarojapitam
Yachadaya Shuttavacha Bhaktya Samrijamane Hridaye Vadaya Jnanena Vairagya Balena Dhira Rajemata Tengri Saroja Pitam Yachadaya Shuttavatya Chabhaktya Samrijamane Hridaye Vadhaya Jnanena Vairagya Balena Dhira Vrajematattengri Sarojapitham
Yatstradhaya Shrutavatya Chabhaktya Samrijamane Hridaye Vadaya Jnananena Varigya Balena Dhira Rajamantate Nigrisaro Japitam
Yashradaya Shrutavataya Chabhaktya
Samrijamane hridaye vadhaya Jnanena vairagya balena dira Rajima tattengri saroja pitam Yastradaya shrutavatya chavaktya Samrijamane hridaye vadaya Jnanena vairagya balena dira Rajima tattengri saroja pitam
Yatstradhaya Shrutavatya Chapakya Samrijamane Hridaye Vadhaya Jnanena Vairagyabalena Dhira Rajematattengri Sarojapitam.
Please.
Yacharaya Shrutvataitravaktya Samrijamane Hiradevidaya Jnanena Vairagyabalena Dira Rajematate Nigrisochapitam
Sarojapitam.
Yakshradaya Sutravaya Pachabhaktya Samir Yamanhada Samrijamane Hadaye Vadhaya Jnanena Vagraya Balena Dira Rajimatate Nisarojapitam
Synonyms. That which Shraddhaya, by eagerness, Shrutavatya, simply by hearing, Cha, also, Bhaktya, in devotion, Samrijamane, being cleansed, Hridaye, in the heart, Avadhaya, meditation, Jnanena, by knowledge, Vairagya, detachment, Balena, by the strength of Tiraha, pacified, Rajema, must go to, Tat, that, Te, your, Angri, feet, Rojapitam, lotus sanctuary. Simply by hearing about your lotus feet with eagerness and devotion, and by meditating upon them within the heart, one at once becomes enlightened with knowledge, and the strength of detachment, one becomes pacified. We must therefore take shelter of the sanctuary of your lotus feet. Therefore,
The miracles of meditating on the lotus feet of the Lord with eagerness and devotion are so great that no other process can compare to it. The minds of materialistic persons are so disturbed that it is almost impossible for them to search after the supreme truth by personal regulative endeavors. But even such materialistic men, with a little eagerness for hearing about the transcendental name, fame, qualities, etc., can surpass all other methods of attaining knowledge and detachment. The conditioned soul is attached to the bodily conception of the self, and therefore he is in ignorance. Cultural self-knowledge can bring about detachment from material affection, and without such detachment there is no meaning to knowledge. The most stubborn attachment for material enjoyment is sex life. One who is attached to sex life is to be understood as devoid of knowledge. Knowledge must be followed by detachment. That is the way of self-realization. These two essentials for self-realization, knowledge and detachment, become manifest very quickly if one performs devotional service to the lotus feet of the Lord. The word dhira is very significant in this connection. A person who is not disturbed even in the presence of cause of disturbance is called dhira. Sri Yamuna Acharya says, "Since my heart has been overwhelmed by the of Lord Krishna, I cannot even think of sex life. And if thoughts of sex life come upon me, I at once feel disgust." A devotee of the Lord becomes an elevated dhira by the simple process of meditating in eagerness on the lotus feet of the Lord. Devotional service entails being initiated by a bona fide spiritual master and following his instruction in regard to hearing about the Lord. Such a bona fide spiritual master is accepted by regularly hearing from him about the Lord. The improvement in knowledge and detachment can be perceived by devotees as an actual experience. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu strongly recommended this process of hearing from a bona fide devotee. And by following this process, one can achieve the highest result, conquering all other methods.
Lotus feet of the Lord are complete. In other words, the different parts of the body of the Lord, they can award everything. In other words, his lotus feet can reward transcendental knowledge, meditating. And this is the process recommended in the Vedas to begin by meditating on lotus feet. Not only begin, but one, even an advanced devotee, wants to be situated at the lotus feet of the Lord. That means devotional service. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is a person that has lotus feet. Wouldn't say lotus feet if there were no feet. It was impersonal. So, hearing is the first process. Shravanam Kirtanam. Hearing about the lotus feet means glories of the Lord, about his activities. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, one who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities, not upon leaving the body, take birth again, but attains my abode, Arjuna. So, the pastimes, the activities of the Lord, means the lotus feet of the Lord. One who is situated at the lotus feet of the Lord knows he is a servant. When one takes a position at the feet, that means he's a servant. Just like common example, the dog. The dog is happy, stay at the feet. Even if someone's sitting on a chair or on a higher, he'll stay in lower position because he feels himself subordinate. He's there to serve the master. So we can learn from dogs. Sometimes devotees say, "My Lord, let me become your dog." Like some Thakur Kukur, like that. I'll be your dog and I'll protect you. And I'll faithfully serve. The neck beats are sometimes called the collar, dog collar. Identify who my master is. So when one has neck beats like this, it means I'm the servant of Krishna, servant of Govinda. We can't forget that. We don't want to become one. If someone wants to become one with the Lord and equal with the Lord in all respect, that's a disease. Because, first of all, it can't be done. And second of all, it's not a pure desire. It's impure. Why not serve him? He's claiming he's the master. And everyone should surrender to him. Sarvadharman Bharatamalayakam Sharanam Tang Sarvapapebhyo Moksha Shangmash. So why not surrender? Why not carry out his orders? Have to please him. And where did he say you should try to become one with the merged? So we don't see that in Bhagavad Gita or the Bhagavad. That one should, the Lord is saying you have to merge with me. Give up your individuality. No, you and I and all these kings are separate individuals. In the past, the present, and the future will also be individuals. No merging. So hearing about the Lord, that means chanting his name also. Chanting because his name is glorified. His name, as Lord Chaitanya says, Chaitodharpa Marjanam Bhamaha Devagini Vapanam Shreyakarabachandrika Vitanam Vidyavara Jivan Anandam Bhuri Vardhanam Tiparam Purnam Vichasvaranam Vapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtan. By chanting the Lord's name, all the inauspicious things in the heart become destroyed, and the heart becomes clean. It's the life of all transcendental knowledge. And the name is also the name of the Lord also has all the knowledge, and the lotus feet of all the knowledge. Everything about the Lord is full of knowledge. The impersonalists say that the devotees are simply chanting sentimentalists. That's what the Mayavadi sannyasis were saying when Lord Chaitanya was present there. They thought that he was sentimentalist. But actually, the devotee gets all knowledge. It's just a byproduct. Vasudeva Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Chanyatya Suvaragyam Jnanam Chayurhoita. One who's engaged in joyful service automatically gets all knowledge, transcendental knowledge, and renunciation. He doesn't have to try separately for it. It's automatically there. And not only that, the devotee prays that when I am engaged in devotional service at the lotus feet of the Lord, then mukti hita anitarupi. Mukti swayam Mukti is there in person with Dharma, Artha, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. So moksha is there, and the other achievements, they're also there. Standing with folded hands, offering to serve the devotee. Offering. They're real persons. And they want to serve the devotee. So automatically the devotee gets Dharma, he's religious. Then doesn't have to do something else to become religious. That was an attractive feature for me. I didn't want to go and spend my weekends in a dark church. I had no interest in that at all. But when I saw the noise route, Saturday night chanting and dancing, and that was religion, that was attractive. That I could go for. But so it's all knowledge, and you get knowledge that way, and you get all religiousness. You don't have to do some rituals. Rituals are not very much attractive. Of course, Vedic rituals in relationship with Krishna are also attractive. You see people come, and we teach them some rituals. But what are the rituals? Bow down when you see the Lord. It's a ritual. But it's not just a ritual. It's got meaning because the Lord is there, and you're a person, and He's a person. And you bow down to Him, that's right. He's your master. So it's not just a dry ritual. Or even chanting on Harinam. He's chanting, but it's not just a ritual. It purifies. It's the best way to get free from anxiety. Everybody's suffering from anxiety. We were hearing yesterday that this place is Kunta. It's full of anxiety, and they don't know how to get rid of it. But the answer is very simple. It's by chanting Hare Krishna. You get rid of anxiety. It seems difficult. I told the story that we purchased this place, this Dham, Transcendental Dham. The person who helped make the arrangement said after we successfully got in the place, said, "Well, you seem pretty peaceful. How do you become peaceful like that?" Said, "Chanting." I don't have any peace of mind. Try the chanting. So this chanting brings peace. It brings freedom from anxiety, brings knowledge, brings sense gratification, religiousness. What do you want more? We know what you want more, properly. Pointed out in the purport. But that means you have no knowledge if you want that other stuff. That's Nam deha deha bhajan loke kastan kaman arhate vidbhujamye. He said to his sons, "My dear sons, do not engage in sense gratification that is available for the lower species. A hog eats stool. they get there after that pleasure. And you're after the same pleasure, and you've progressed. You're civilized. No civilization. This is not civilization. This is uncivilization. So we have to get that through our heads and help others get it in their head. There's nothing delightful about it. You may say, well, the only thing they can say is, oh, I mean, it produces children. Yeah. Use it for that, then it's delightful. But if you use it for anything else, it's just despicable. That verse. Anyone know that verse? I'm going to show you. Vedavari mama cheta Krishna pararavinde navanavarasa dhamana jatarantamasi das. Siddhasa. Now, since I've been engaged in the transcendental loving service of Krishna, realizing ever new pleasure in Him, whenever I think of my former activities on sex life, I spit up the thought, my lips curl with distaste. So that's, sometimes we think that's a little gross, not so spiritual, but it's very spiritual. He was a big king. He had so many queens and service maids and everything at his disposal. And he was involved in that. Then he became a devotee. And he lamented. He gave it up. He lost his taste. Not only lost his taste, he developed a distaste. So that's really remarkable. One might say, well, I can understand someone might lose their taste, but not get distaste. Yes, distaste. So we have to understand how abominable. Why is it abominable? Someone says, what's abominable about it? It gives pleasure, and it relieves anxiety. But it doesn't. It creates miseries. So, come on now. If it created miseries, why is everyone so mad after it? Because everyone's crazy. Everyone's mad. We've become crazy, mad after this. We weren't trained properly. We weren't taught. Well, someone still may say, but how can you say that we're supposed to be taught not to indulge in something that gives pleasure? What's wrong with getting some pleasure? That type of pleasure, you have to understand that type of pleasure is there for those who are foolish. Just like they have some drugs now, very heavy drugs. You can take them, and someone can make a case for trying to tell you what nice effects it will have on you. Isn't it? They tell you how good it makes you feel, I think. And then you buy it, you take it, you feel great for a few seconds or hours, whatever it is, and then ruin your brain, ruin the rest of your body, ruin your whole life. You got some pleasure. How long did it last? So that's an example of how a little pleasure should not become your their guiding principle for activity. For a little prema, prayas and shreyas. Prayas means very brief, little brief pleasure, shreya, are good. It's good for a short time, but shreyas is long-term good. So those who go for the quick pleasure, the praya, they take the heavy drugs. They destroy their everything. But in the beginning, everyone's saying there's some pleasure there. If you talk to that group, they'll tell you it's pleasure. But they're cheating. It's like on our book, Brain Game, in the back, it says, we've been taught. Anyone know that? We've been taught that sex life for pleasure is good for us. Is nothing wrong with it. But we've been cheated. It's not good for us. It's not healthy. It's not good for your health. It's terrible for your health. According to Ayurveda, it's the worst thing, is to lose that vital energy. Shukra. One has to protect that. Both males and females have to protect. They both have their generating fluids. And they're not meant to be wasted. They're meant for nourishing the brain. Because when one practices yoga, like bhakti yoga, the reta is taken to the top. It goes up. Urdhva means one who's practicing strict celibacy. His reta, his semen goes up, not down. There's a competition between the genitals and the brain. Both want the substance that's in the fluid. But when it goes up, then his memory becomes great, and his capabilities of understanding are increased tremendously. You can see by so many great geniuses practice celibacy all their life. So this idea that it causes psychological difficulty, that is complete nonsense. Freud. You can thank Freud for that. But actually causes so many problems. Psychological problems, yes. Health problems, yes. Social problems, yes. Economic problems, yes. Everything. But we're too blind to see that. But when the spiritual master comes, Om Jnana Timiranda, he opens our eyes, which were dark and blind, couldn't see. He makes it so simple by saying, you want to become serious about getting free from anxiety? You have to give it up. Illicit sex must be given up. That's one of the 4 principles. That means this is a serious program for getting free from anxiety. We're getting free from all the distresses. If one's not willing to do that, then he can't make advancement. Not possible. Has to be ready. Like if you say, I want to eat meat, I also want to be spiritual. Not possible. Krishna says, Patram pushpam palam toyam yame bhaktya prayachati. One has to offer me love and devotion, leaf, flower, fruit, water, Alex. Doesn't say meat. So these four things have to be renounced, and one has to chant. Only that's for internal cleanliness. The chanting keeps the mind clean, heart clean. And if we're chanting properly, then we won't be eating improperly, because that's the regulation. So much knowledge comes from the chanting, from the Lord's holy name, from the Lord's pastime, or the form, meditating upon the form of the Lord. Dhyana is also included in the chanting. So, hearing about the Lord, they're all these 9 processes. You can engage in all 9, that's good. If not 9, then 8, 7, 6. Even one of them can bring all perfection. And there's examples given. Parikshit Maharaj, he was perfect by hearing, Shukadev by chanting. Different personalities achieve perfection by different activities of devotional service. Those 9. Offering prayers. Any questions or comment? Next.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for such a wonderful class. This has been right along the lines of where I've been struggling lately. And you're talking about the devastation that comes from improper use of sex life. Something that I've seen in myself is like, it's just how degrading it is, and how it's essentially like stripped me of like all of like my dignity. And like what's even worse is like it's brought me to a place where I'm okay with that. So how can I take steps to a place that I can, I can actually respect who I am? Because I don't feel a whole lot of respect for my current condition being, it's like I've just been chewed up and spit out by Maya, and I'm kind of looking at the mess that I am.
That was the question. How can we? Yeah, that's devotional service. And as we engage in devotional service, then we give up these. Our dignity comes back. Krishna gives the dignity back. We've lost our dignity, yes. We become degraded and just abominable. Our minds are abominable. Our activities are abominable. But by devotional service, we don't have to take any other type of course. 6 steps or 5 steps or 7 steps. We have these steps, Krishna's Marukrama, great steps. So we're taking steps towards Krishna. Every time we distribute literature, every time we chant, every time we take prasadam, every time we bow down, every time we hear about Krishna, this is taking steps towards Krishna. And Krishna takes steps towards us. He's Marukrama. Vamandev, when he takes a step, it's a big step. So that's what gives back the dignity.
Some people often tell us that you can't become perfect, but you mentioned many people reaching perfection like that. So what do we have to tell them, or are they convinced? They won't. I'm just saying that some people tell us we can't become perfect. Don't try to be perfect.
Not perfect in the sense that God is perfect, but perfect in the sense of being a servant of God. That perfection can be given by the Lord. And with his sanction, one can become perfect. Not by his own endeavor alone. He has to make the right effort. That's proper use of his free will. He uses his, whatever he's got, Manasadaya Gaya Jokachuma Apilutu Ade. Pade Nandakishore. He uses his mind, his home, his family, his whatever he's got. And he engages in the service of the Lord, so to speak. That's perfection. There's nothing higher than that for the living entity. And Lord Chaitanya proved it by God coming in his form as a devotee to show the dignity of a devotee. God wouldn't come in a disgusting way. He's showing the highest services, chanting the names of the Lord. That's the process for this age. Harinama, 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 Eva Kevalam. Lona Stevana, 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 got turned. So to reach perfection. Perfection doesn't mean that you'll become God. Never become God. That's not possible. But we're also part of God already. We are the Tatastha Shakti. We are the marginal energy of the Lord. The energy and the energetic can't be separated. It's like sunlight. Is the sun in this room? Yes, the sun's in this room. But not the sun globe. The sun globe's not in this room, but sunshine. So we have to be satisfied to be the energy of the Lord, and our perfection is that we can do the Lord's service. Thank you very much. My Bhagavatam ki jai. Shri Prabhupada ki jai.